One of the questions people often love to ask me is, what's your favorite Magic card? My favorite Magic card is this one right here. It's why I couldn't bring myself to cut the final copy from my blue-red tempo deck when I top-8'd the Open with it earlier this year. It's not very good, but I love casting it. So I like blue-black fairies because I really like casting the card Spellstutter Sprite. This is a deck that, we've played a number of times in the past. If you're not familiar with my website, jeffhoagland.com, there are a ton of modern deck lists with different archetypes up there. You can find this one under the fan favorites or high potential. This one might be in the high potential section. We've done well with this deck very consistently. I like how this build of fairies is set up. You'll notice that this build of fairies is very discard based. Being proactive is generally ideal in modern. The few counter spells that this deck contains are Spellstutter Sprite and Cryptic Command, which are counter spells that can be played proactively when counter spells are not good. I mean, what's ouch about that, Goons? That's the deal. My system is very, very clear. You either pay with dollars or pay with time. Curse you, Jeff, for making me want to play Standard and Arena. What's going on, JMP? Sorry, not sorry. This hand's really good. Get to go turn 1. Glen, reveal Bitterblossom, Thoughtseize. I'm sure I'm about to draw like Mono Swamps and Mutavaults and die with these Cryptic Commands uncastable, but the start of this hand is very good. I can't hear you because I'm in math class, but thanks for the good content. Thank you for the 5 months already in case you go back and watch this later. Bitterblossom was banned in Modern, that's true. Has to be OP. Easy Baral here, don't have a Fatal Push to take it off the table. Fetches in Storm could imply that they're going to Blood Moon us post board, which is actually one of the reasons why this deck has a harder time in Modern. This is a deck that's very soft to Blood Moon. If I'd have known that was on top, we'd have not taken the Braille, we'd have taken a Ritual. Stanton, thank you for the 10-month tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. That is correct. Bitterblossom was banned in Modern for the same reason that Stoneforge Mystic is currently banned, which is it's banned because it was too good in Standard. Stoneforge Mystic being banned in Modern is like if we banned Reflector Mage in Modern because it was banned in Saturn. Just completely idiotic. It's snowing. Don't you live in Texas? Why is it snowing in Texas? You can always find the deck list on your screen via the Stream Decker widget or by typing !deck in chat, which is currently on the wrong deck list, but I will fix that very quickly here. Sweet. So they found the Baral, but they didn't find the land, so I'm going to get to go ahead and Fatal Push this here. Can't cast it down, unfortunately. Mutavault and Bitterblossom are pretty quick clock here. They have double Ritual, Past in Flames, and 3 cards I don't know. Fairies was oppressive in Standard, right? I think it was good in Extended too, but I honestly really wasn't playing competitive Magic when Extended was a thing. I picked up competitive Magic in like circa 2012, 2013. I don't think traditional Living End is very good. I think Living End is not interactive enough or linear enough to be competitive against a lot of the decks that see play in Modern and are good. All right, we hit the blue stars for our Cryptic Command tiers, so that's nice. When they cast this Ritual, I'm going to counter their spell. Bounce Pyromancer's Ascension here. I think this matchup's pretty okay for Fae. Usually when I lose this matchup, it's because my opponent had a fast empty the Warrens post board. Trim these cast downs. Actually, I probably don't want this. Disdainful Stroke's actually not good here. They usually trim some or all of their gifts, and just for Past in Flames isn't good enough. I just did a donation for a deck list. So your donation came through, Potato People. But if you read what I posted on my website, you need to have me respond to your deck list submission through my forum. So I don't accept all donation decks. Sometimes people submit things that aren't particularly competitive, and I say no. Have I ever played professional poker? No, I played a lot of cash poker during college, but professional poker is not anything I explored. Yeah, Brutality can be a little bit expensive here. And like, if you look at our curve, it's very easy to gum up on 2-mana spells in this deck, I think. Would Jace be good here? I don't think Jace is good here. That's why I'm not playing it. Jace is a really clunky, expensive spell that doesn't end the game. Here's a really good tip for everybody who's ever want to participate in any Twitch chat ever. If somebody is streaming something and you don't enjoy the thing that they're streaming, you don't need to come into their chat and announce that you are displeased with what they're streaming. Instead of being an annoying turd, instead, close the Twitch stream and go somewhere else and find something that you enjoy. I said it's not linear enough. The rate at which Living End combos is not very fast in relation to the other decks that are good in Modern, in my experience. Path to Exile is the best removal spell in Modern, and I don't think it's particularly close. I aim to please, Grapple. I'm not tilted. If people being idiots made me tilted, I'd never be able to be... I'd never be vertical. Streaming on Twitch is basically mono dealing with idiots. There's a lot of people that are so not used to Twitch streamers, like, telling chat to, like, wank off, that, like, when I tell people to wank off, people are like, man, Jeff's really upset. It's like, nah, man, this is just what we do. We just maintain a level of decency here that, like, requires you to, like, be intelligent and have some discourse. I've got so many negates in my hand, and their hand obviously isn't doing a lot, that I'm just gonna burn a negate on this cantrip. No, Magic Online does not have any of the integrations like Magic Arena has. Huh. So do I want to hold up Negate here? I probably don't need to with the Damping Sphere in play. I'm going to do this and drain them. I really don't need the extra land in my hand. Yeah, it feels bad, man. $10 months, Chunky Buddha. That's such a long time. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right, let's do this again. Vixed, thank you for the 9-month resub. Hey, appreciate that. Welcome back. Man, maybe I'm just supposed to do nothing and just, like, beat them down with these Mutavaults. Ah, screw that. Let's negate this. Oh, I have to pay one more. Maybe this negate isn't worth casting because it means I can't attack this turn. I did not update the stream title. Thank you. These Ascensions get going. Alright, so we're dead. We're gonna die next turn. Ah, yes. One copy of Gifts Ungiven in their hand means that they left every copy of Gifts Ungiven in their deck. Thank you, Twitch chat. Please never change. I think I'm actually going to trim all the brutalities in this matchup. They just feel kind of clunky and awkward. I'm going to bring in an EE and a Cryptic Command. Yeah, I love this Go for the Throat art. I agree that it is fantastic. Scene just doesn't do enough. Scene's not amazing, but it's fine. Get to have Bitterblossom into counter spells. Hopefully we don't get turn 2 Blood Mooned. On bottom that, looking for more pressure, I think, here. How do they win through Wet Ball? Well, with their Pyromancer's Ascension in play, double active, every ritual they cast makes 9 mana, which makes it very easy to combo through Wet Ball. No, we've just been getting mono beat up today, goalie. All right. I have Bitterblossom, and I'm getting untapped with 2 counter spells. Things are looking good for our hero. Unlike many people who stream lots of Magic, I'm not going to make up made-up percentage point numbers for you. I have no idea what this deck's percentage is against Storm. Yeah, modern Mondays are usually good for viewer count because there aren't a lot of people who stream on Mondays. A lot of people take Monday morning especially off. Let's put my 4/4 into play. Or get remanded, one of the two, that's fine. Like next turn I'll get to play her with Dispel up. You keep Bitterblossom in versus Burn, usually 1 or 2, I think. I have to look and see how my sideboarding lines up. If you watch some of my past archives of this deck on YouTube, you can see us play against Burn a number of times. Jay Ferd, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. There's a deck list on your screen. You can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list if you don't have it available via the Stream Decker widget. I'm going to dispel the crap out of a remand here. Or a Gifts Ungiven. Looking pretty good for our hero here. We've got them dead in like 2. I get to attack with Mutavault and have Negate up still this turn. Have double Negate up. Yeah, this game's over. Meme Mondays no longer exist on this channel, chat. Meme Mondays turned into Bad Deck Mondays, so Meme Mondays have been rebranded to Modern Mondays. What's going on, Jackson? Thank you for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Welcome to Thunderdome, opponent. Welcome to Thunderdome. What's going on, folks? Welcome. Good morning. Happy Monday. That's its afternoon in some parts of the world, maybe evening even. If you're new, my name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I stream Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. I play a ton of Modern here on Magic Online. We also play Standard on Magic Arena. If you're someone who finds yourself enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I really love what I do here, and I'm grateful to do this as a job, but the reason why I'm able to do it as a job is because of the support of all those wonderful subs. Past subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. Harry's Razors would love to help you get that nice, close, clean shave. Using code JeffHoagland at bit.ly/HoogleShave, you can save 5% on your starter kit there with them. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn your Magic cards into other cards that you really want. With other players, there's no haggling, and they just take 1% fee off of the top. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of custom artwork that they have on their website. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. Thanks for dropping by our little slice of the internet here today. If you're enjoying my content after I'm done and you want to see more of it, be sure to head on over to my website, jeffhoagland.com. 100% of my streams get archived there, and you can find them sorted by format or by my favorite matches and stuff like that. There's a bunch of awesome deck lists up there, like this Blue-Black Fairies deck list that we're playing today. And a bunch of comments in chat here. At my school, has a sci-fi club, and I'm the admin of it. I've created 3 budget decks for people to practice Magic. Do you have any recommendations? So there's a couple of sites like Cool Stuff Inc. I believe actually has new player decks that they sell that are like balanced against each other to play and get people into Magic with. It's probably the best way to do that. Finally on the board after 3 hours. How's the Dredge matchup for fairies? So when you queue into Dredge, in the upper right-hand corner of your screen here, there's an X button, and when you click it, there's this concede match option. That's the best way you beat Dredge. You beat Dredge by realizing that you don't. All right, so I'm going to fetch a basic swamp here in Thoughtseize. One of the most important things you can learn that will make you a much better player in Modern is realizing that not every deck can win every matchup in Magic the Gathering, especially in a format like Modern. And regardless of what deck you are playing, there are a number of matches that you're just punting and are not going to be able to win. And that's okay. That's by design. That's just how it works. If one deck beat everything, that deck would be oppressive, and it would be the only deck people played. How to tell if your deck is good versus Dredge. Do you like the deck? If so, that deck is bad versus Dredge. All right, it's a good draw. Dragons was a hot dumpster fire. The cards it's playing are just too expensive to really be competitive. If you want to play Dragons, I'd recommend playing Standard. Dragons are very reasonable there. Standard's a format where you can afford to play 4 and 5 mana creatures. I don't think playing Countersquall is worthwhile in Fairies. I don't think this deck is quite aggressive enough for the 2 points to really matter. And I think the fact that you what's the word that I'm searching for? I think the fact I've just completely lost on what I'm trying to say here. I don't have good words, chat. Is this the last league of the day? It's not, but I don't have another deck lined up because we burned through all of them. We've gotten beat up a bunch. No, we're going to do more Modern if we have time for another Modern deck. Mondays is all Modern in the morning. Owling Mine was donated with the explicit request that it's going to be played Wednesday morning. So if you donate large amounts of money, you can dictate when the deck gets played. This is great. So I get to Bitterblossom, and when they crack this fetch land to try and Cryptic me, I get to stifle their fetch. So they have Snapcaster, Cryptic, Abrade, Island, and then one card I don't know, I believe. Good job waiting on that fetch land. Think they're going to fetch proactively here? Look at that. Look at that. Put the fear in them. How much of a donation to see Modern Belcher after this league? If you would like to dictate the immediate next league that we play, it's always a $100 donation. I just pass here at this point. Just like keep my flash threats up. I like Nimble Obstructionist. I'm biased because it like does everything I want a magic card to do, but I will probably just start at the top of the queue if we have time for another deck today, which will be Mardukars. Remember that we've played almost every deck that exists in Modern on this channel, so if I'm not playing the deck that you would immediately like to see played next, you can always find it on my YouTube. YouTube.com/DuffOakland. No, I think I'm playing Pirates at the event this weekend. So they likely don't have any utility lands in their deck, and I'd like a third basic island here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit them off of this. That's unfortunate. Probably lose Cryptic or Mistbind here. Yeah, they could have Lighthouse, but getting a fourth blue source is pretty important when I have this Cryptic in my hand. Taking Mistbind seems good for me. As a reasonable adult who understands how much variance Magic the Gathering has, I never expect to do well at a tournament that I'm going to. Expecting to do well at a given Magic tournament is just setting yourself up for disappointment. I think I just take Cryptic Command here. Like if they hit there through the breach, I have Cryptic Command. I like maybe have a small worry of like getting Snap burnt out, but like I'm at 12, so like my tokens and my Creeping Tar Pit probably going to be good to win before then. What playmat do I use? I actually just got a copy of the Message Deleted playmat from Inked Gaming. Excited to play that this weekend. If you go to the merch page, it's up there. The actual physical playmat is upstairs, I think. I'm not going to run up and grab it now. So, we're actually kind of in a position to beat Breach Emrakul here, right? Yeah, this weekend's the Standard Grand Prix. Alright, so Fatal Push is pretty bad. Cast Down's pretty bad. Dismember's probably fine. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the throat. So, Cryptic Command is playable in Modern not because it's a 4-mana counterspell, but because of its flexibility. This is sometimes a 4-mana counterspell that draws a card. It's sometimes a 4-mana fog that draws a card. It's sometimes a boomerang that draws a card. So just it does a lot. No, I don't have any extra playmats, Piriohan. All of the playmats and t-shirts are made to order. Gosh, this hand would be so good with a second land. Seems like fine. The tokens, pins, and stickers are shipped internationally. My wife and I are actually shipping those out personally, so you have to be willing to pay for international shipping, but we are shipping them internationally. Full Metal Adept with the Cut the Line donation. Here's to play Green-Black Elves next. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Huh. I think I actually want to take Jaceer, right? Because it's the cheaper threat. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Jaceer. So I can stroke this later. Thank you for the absurd support, Full Metal. I appreciate it. Someone asked, would I design and sell a playmat? You can literally find playmats on my website. I like the proactive fetching. We put the Fear of God in him. I probably should have showed them Clique there. The standard Grand Prix is in Milwaukee. That's because Oklahoma is in the middle of nowhere. I'm surprised they have Grand Prix there at all. Standard's great. Current Standard is the best format of Magic I have ever played. It is very, very good. Yeah, we beat Storm and we're up a game here against Blue Moon Breach, it looks like. Yeah, he's dead, Jim. Events don't go to Chicago because Chicago is from my understanding, Chicago is the second most expensive city after New York to have a convention in. Nice, Nivik. Ever. Like, modern, standard, legacy, period. Best format of Magic I have ever played. Alright, that's my fault. I should have put Field of Ruin into play here. I could have played around that. This is just part of Modern. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede and move on to the next one. And it maybe had a chance to fight a Black Source, but pretty unlikely anyways. Blood Moon's just one of those things where it's part of Modern, and you have to accept that you're going to lose to it some amount of the time, even though it's not good. Yep, our greedy 2-color mana base was thoroughly punished by Blood Moon. His hand's great. It gets basic Swamp, basic Island, and has Thoughtseize into Bitterblossom into counter spells. I'm gonna take Snapcaster Mage here. I have Dispel and Negate to just like not care about this through the breach. What do you think are the bad matchups for Blue-Black Pirates? I think the Drake's deck is very hard because they have a lot of flying blockers and they can kill you quickly. How much do you build around Tef-free knowledge pool? Build around decks are $50. Just gonna play a second Bitterblossom and clock them very quickly here. It's unfortunate that I haven't drawn a land. How many lands are in this deck? Is it 25 plus cantrips? It's 25 without cantrips. So not jamming the Bitterblossom again because I want to hold up Negate in the face of a Jace the Mind Sculptor next turn. Rosemont is in Chicago. Chicago adjacent, but it's not Chicago. We could get burned out here. They have Snap Bolt here. I could be in trouble, but I definitely need to, like, go get another blue source here. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for us. I think it's fine against mono white. I think the black removal is really good in that matchup. Oh, unfortunate that I can't really play anything out here because I don't have a third blue source. Like, Milwaukee is basically a Chicago suburb, so, like, there's really no reason to go to Chicago proper when you can, like, have a tournament in Milwaukee for much cheaper. I feel like I'm supposed to wait to click until I have a third blue source like this. Yeah, maybe Naked Snap was the line there. Yeah, I like that suggestion. I should have Naked Snapped at end step. That is a good suggestion. That would have been very good for racing. All of my articles are on Cool Stuff Inc. Sure. Yeah, you're technically correct, Waffles. So Anger of the Gods is going to let them kill my threats. The rest of those, they're not going to have enough mana to, like, breach plus double dispel before I kill them. So if I would have played Snapcaster Mage, they'd be at 4 right now. I still have lethal with Snapcaster next turn, though, so we should be good. So if they have a Bolt here, they can double fight over it. But otherwise, they're dead. They'd be dead guaranteed this turn if I'd have played the Snapcaster Mage earlier. You don't actually have that many 1 toughness things, Brad. In my experience, the red matchup's very reasonable for the Pirates deck. You have a pretty efficient clock. That's really good. That's really unfortunate. Now, if they draw Lightning Bolt, they can kill me. Oh, they're clicking themselves. Sure, deal. Lightning Bolt still kills me regardless, so... Yeah, if I would have... I've given my opponent... And this is something that a lot of people don't realize, I think. Like, my opponent could get lucky to win this game, but I have played the game in a manner that allowed my opponent to get lucky. Everything in my deck attacks through a Chain Whirler, Brad. They all fly or have menace. I guess Dire Fleet Poisoner doesn't attack through it. Everything else does. So I'm dead to second Lightning Bolt here because I know they have double Dispel to play through my counter magic. They did not get lucky, so I was not punished for my mistake. Their hand right now is Dispel, Dispel, Negate. Sure, right, there's a Hostage Taker in the deck too, but Hostage Taker takes their Chain Whirler away from them, so in a way, it does get through it. It also gets through Chain Whirler on the back of Direfleet Poisoner. All right, we're 2-0. We're 2-0. I like Fairies. Fairies is good. I'm going to run to the restroom really quick. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to finish this league, and then we're going to play a league with Green-Black Elves. They're holding. So Brad, here's the thing though, and this is what makes the Direfleet captain so good. In an aggressive mirror match, if my opponent's holding back 2 creatures to double block my card, I'm winning that game. Like 1 or 2 points of flying power while they hold back on the ground. Like Direfleet, the captain wins most races because you're either winning the race because you're making 2/2s that chump or apply more pressure, or they're holding back creatures to stop your menace creature from attacking, and then you can't, and then you're like winning in the air. So I haven't played the white aggro matchup a ton, but I've played the red aggro matchup a good deal with the Pirates deck, and I think the red matchup is very reasonable for the Pirates deck. Modern has games of Magic that I enjoy. I think the percentage of games that I enjoy in Standard is higher, but that's fine. We just concede the matches that aren't fun in Modern. For Elves, what are the matchups that you're trying to avoid? The decks that are super, super linear. Things like Devoted Company or Grishelbrand. Decks that kill you on turn 2 and turn 3. Yeah, Storm can be hard-ish. Bitterblossom's pretty good against Celestial Colonnade. Sand's forming up to be pretty good. When you're fetching a tapped land, you want to lead on the Flooded Strand in this deck, and the reason for that is these get both of our basics, whereas Flooded Strand does not. If they don't have a Spell Snare here, this Bitterblossom could run away with the game. I don't actually think Titan Shift is that bad of a matchup. I don't think Amulet Titan is either. Those decks aren't super fast. They're linear, but they're not fast. Elves Goldfish very quickly. You can find my deck list on my website. Click Standard at the top to find Standard decks. They could have Snare here. A lot of these decks play up to 2 snares. 0 to 2 is the range of snares that these decks tend to have. Blue-white is a better matchup for Fairies than Jeskai, because Jeskai can pressure our health total with Lightning Bolt, but we're using it as a resource. Can you give your definition of a linear deck? The easiest way for you to determine if your deck is linear is imagine you're playing your deck against 60 basic forests. If you're playing your deck against 60 basic forests and your deck doesn't have any dead cards in it, your deck's probably linear. What's the number of months since my first stream? I've been streaming for 5 or more years at this point. I've been partnered for almost 4. Looks like just straight blue-white, which is good for us. Against blue-white, you want to prioritize fetching basic land, or fetching non-basic lands, because that way you have more basics left in your deck to get, Why is the bot following you for only 2 years then? It's only been subscribed for 2 years, CK Lau. We are 2-0 in this league. We're in the first game of match 3. Fairies is nothing like humans, so I'm going to give you a 10-minute break because that's just nonsense. GG, WP. They were missing land drops and just incredibly far behind. Do I want to leave in some answers to Celestial Colonnade? I probably do. Collective Brutality is a little bit clunky in these matchups. I'll leave in 2 Fatal Pushes. Killing like their Vendilion Cliques and stuff like that is reasonable too a lot of the time. I think I like this configuration. Thoughts, opinions? I think a well-built Elves deck is a very good Tron matchup. Elves is a pretty consistent turn 4 Goldfish, and it gets to play Damping Sphere and Assassin's Trophy as interaction. And my copious amounts of experience playing green-black Elves. That's my favorite thing. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, yeah, let's do Dismember Go for the Throat, because these kill Vendilion Clique and Baneslayer very well. Good suggestion. A lot of people talk about, when I talk about Elves on stream, there are so many people that aren't familiar with the build of Elves that we play that they compare everything to the poopy white-based Elves deck that people play in Modern for whatever reason. And it's like, well, our matchups are incredibly different because, well, we're not playing crappy white cards in our deck. We've not played any matchups where Kalitas is good. Yeah, Shaman in the Pack changes the dynamic of a lot of games of Magic. So if they drew a Negate or a Logic Knot here, I'm just going to run this out. This is definitely like our best chance to get this to stick. Just fantastic curve on our part here. Discard spell, Bitterblossom, Mistbind, just running them off. Teferi is very common in blue-white control decks in Modern. The card is very powerful. I just play decks that I'm paid to play here, Dr. Presso. So don't take that I haven't played a deck recently to mean that a deck is magically bad or not worth playing. It just means nobody's paid me to play it. This is my job. I play what people want to see here, what people who support me pay to see. I think I'm just fetch shocking. So one of the most important pieces of knowledge I can bestow upon you when you're playing decks like this that have a lot of flash threats is that just because your cards have flash and play at instant speed does not mean that you have to play them on your opponent's turn. One of the really key things to playing a deck like this is being familiar with when you should be playing your instant speed cards at sorcery speed. What am I taking here? I think it's the Teferi. I think I'm going to have enough cards to sequence around this Cryptic Command, and I don't currently have a counterspell to deal with the Teferi. A Jeff's Choice Stay, yeah, that just doesn't pay the bills. I'm happy to be here doing this as my job, and like a Jeff's Choice Stay doesn't sound like it's going to pay my bills. One of the primary reasons I think that my stream has become as successful as it is in relation to other people that have been streaming Magic longer than me is because of the level of viewer-focused content that I make. So you have Cryptic Command and Terminus here. It's unfortunate that I don't have another blue source at the moment. We are not going to make it to Mardu vehicles today. Occasionally people send bits or cheer or donate with the express idea that they want to see me. They say dealer's choice, put this towards what you want. And then I do pick decks that for those to happen. Owling Mine is being played Wednesday morning. The person that donated to see Owling Mine explicitly asked that I play it on Wednesday. No, there's nothing wrong with the Possibility Storm ad that I'm aware of. Do I want to Inquisition here? Inquisition will probably get Cryptic Command out of them. It could also just like force them to path in response. And them forcing them to path in response could be good for us. Looking forward to more standard content. Channel has been a fantastic course of entertainment. Thank you for the 3 months tap planned. I appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the standard stuff. I've been enjoying making standard stuff. It's a lot of fun. They are 1 land away from hard casting Terminus here. Yeah, we could use an island. These Inquisitions not being Thoughtseizes have been very bad for us here. I wonder if it's possible that I want to split the Inquisitions with the Collective Brutalities post board, just because taking both Cryptic Command and Terminus is pretty important in this matchup. Like, Inquisition misses a lot of their cards. Celestial Purge, Path to Exile. Huh. I think I just take Purge here. I think I'm just going to take Purge. The Path gives me a land, right? Like, the Purge can't hit my blue things, but they're probably going to hit a land and terminus us anyways. You should play 4 Karns in Tron. If there was somebody that was spreading this crazy idea that, like, Karn wasn't good in Tron and you shouldn't play Karn, and in my opinion, if you genuinely think Karn isn't good enough in Tron, you just shouldn't be registering Tron. I can't misbind them. They have Cryptic Command. That seems good for us. So they have Cryptic plus Terminus here. Feel like we're in a pretty good spot. I'm gonna end step Snapcaster Mage here. They want to burn their Cryptic on this, that's okay with me. You can find my preferred Tron deck list on my website in the Modern section under Proven. Is this going to elicit a Cryptic Command? It's a very expensive deck, Uncle Gale. Price memory is a very real thing in Modern, in Magic in general. Well, that's a fantastic draw. I will take a look at the Possibility Storm ad later. It's not something I can debug during the stream. Thank you for letting me know. If they animate Celestial Colonnade here, I'm going to bounce it to their hand and draw a card. Which then hopefully means they don't have an untapped land to Terminus next turn. Wow. Okay, sure. That's interesting. I feel like they should have Queller be at end step there. Alright, so there's no way they don't Terminus these 2 dorks, right? No, I think that's too cute. There's a very real chance that they just, like, draw Terminus anyways, so I think that's not worthwhile. It's putting them to 1 good here. I think I'd rather... Let's Inquisition and find out. What do you got? They got Cryptic Command and X. Cryptic Command, Hieroglyphic Illumination. Yeah, I guess I just put them to 1, right? Yeah, I put them to 1, and then I can end step Spellstutter Sprite, and then Sprite and Mutavault are both lethal. No, if Terminus costs 6 mana on the stack. The converted mana cost of a magic card is the number printed in the upper right-hand corner. The only time converted mana cost is funky on the stack is that X spells include their casting cost in, include their X in their converted mana cost while it's on the stack. Has Bitterblossom ever been $100? I think that's just not true. Yeah, Bitterblossom's basically never been $100. This is yeah, Bitterblossom's like never been $100. It was 70 here at one point when people thought it was going to get unbanned, but needs more Stormcrow. Thanks for the 8 months, Red Mulligan. I appreciate that. Welcome. Oh, this is a good line. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't thinking about that when they got to bounce the Mutavault to stay alive. That was very well played by the opponent. So definitely playing that. I'm gonna go ahead and just play Vendilion Clique now. Again, getting it under any counter magic they might have. And then they can keep both of these because they play Teferi. I just negate him. Never forget, chat, the best Vendilion Cliques are the ones where you look at their hand and you go, yeah, you can keep those. Going on, Fitz? Life is swell. I love blue-black fairies. This archetype really just feels like it's just like one more playable card away from being really great. Joyous Potato, thank you for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I think that's it exactly. But I was actually gonna say I think it's a 1-mana fairy would put this deck way over the top. So you could like on the play go 1-mana fairy into turn 2 Spellstutter Sprite a 2-drop. We always have a good record with this deck when we play it on stream. I think we 4-1 last time. Yes, a Fairy Mausoleum Wanderer would be a Fairy Curse Catcher. Not even Mausoleum Wanderer, just Fairy Curse Catcher. No, I don't want to take the Serum Visions BDP because they're choked on mana. So making them spend that 1 mana makes them less resource efficient that turn, which is good for me. Thank you, Brackabits, for the 6 months. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. When are we getting Fairy or Reflector Mage? Yeah, I actually, the Nimble Obstructionist, and again, you should take this with a grain of salt because I love Nimble Obstructionist, but the addition of Nimble Obstructionist to this deck has felt really good too. Feel like this build has a really good mix of proactive flash threats and proactive discard spells. If I was interested in being fair and interactive in Modern right now, this would probably be the deck at the top of my list to play. I really like this archetype. Green, black, X did the best of. I believe that. Another month. I've got to watch Jeff while studying for exams. Well, thank you for the 7-month resub there. I appreciate that. This is a new match, right? This hand's really good in the dark. I'm sure. So, and this hand might exemplify some of the problems these interactive decks have. If my opponent is playing a card where Fatal Push doesn't have text, this hand's very bad. But if they're playing a deck where Fatal Push has text, it's very good. I do not like their list. I think this list, I prefer this list to the deck that they played. I think their list has a bunch of mopey planeswalkers in it that I don't think are very good in Modern. I think Modern is a format that's about being proactive. And this deck has the right mix of proactive and not. Their deck was too mopey, in my opinion. We already beat Storm once. The Storm matchup's not unlosable, but it's definitely favored for us. This is a matchup where Fatal Push does tend to have text, so that's good for us. If we hit lands 3 and 4 on time here, I think we're going to be a pretty strong favorite to win this. All the good fair decks in Modern pretty much play Inquisition in it. Mardu cards we have not gotten to. We had a couple of cut the line bumps that went around it. Alright, so I think I just fire up Mutavault and get in here. I think I want to save this Nimble Obstructionist to stifle a Storm trigger. I don't think this deck has bad big mana matchups. I think this deck's very good against Red-Green Valakut Titan, and I think it has a winnable Tron matchup in my experience. In fact, this is a fair deck that can compete with the big mana decks, is one of the big appeals to it, in my opinion. With the Fatal Push, I shouldn't need to hold up Nimble Obstructionist next turn to Stifle Storm, so... Yep, yeah, cool stuff. Ink articles for me come out on Wednesdays. If you want a rough draft that's not formatted or have had a lot of proofreading done, I'll post a rough draft of my article tonight in the Discord. Yeah, Shadow's great. Shadow's a very good, proactive Magic the Gathering deck. So hopefully if they cast a Ritual here, this Fatal Push prevents us from dying. Morning, Apprentice. Hope you had a good weekend. Happy Monday. I don't know what you mean, Black Knight. We can have, like, Ritual Morphos gifts in response here? Like, what are we doing? This is a really weird sequence. Oh, geez, I was gonna message my wife and Facebook is down. I need to message her on Discord. Spellstutter Sprite is an excellent draw. Oh, Mr. Silicone. Thank you, sorry. Really hoping to hit lands at this point. I don't think that's something I want to cast. Collective Brutality is kind of clunky and slow in this matchup, especially when we're choked for mana. I always love when people come in here and tell me that I'm wrong when they have no experience playing the deck list that I'm playing. Like, I often play decks that I don't have a ton of experience with on this stream, but this specifically is an archetype that I have a lot of experience with in this specific build. So unless you've played these 75 Magic cards, please don't come in here and tell me that I'm wrong about the matchups. That's the thing about these fringe decks. Orobudu, 7 months is a far too short a time to have been subbed to you. Here's to 7 more and beyond. Thank you for the over half a year. Welcome back. I think, it's just so these fringe, the same thing happens with elves too. Elves is such a fringe archetype that people like to come in and tell me that I'm wrong about the matchups when people and the experience that they have playing with the archetype is with very different lists than what I've been playing. The reason why these decks tend to stay as fringe archetypes is because people don't spend a lot of time and effort trying to improve them. I would want a Fairy Curse Catcher, is what I would like. Make them target with this before I choose to Fatal Push or not. I'm just letting this happen. Are these all targeting me? All targeting me, I think, is actually good for me here. So if they have another Grape Shot, I think I should be okay to race here. If they have Past in Flames, they don't have enough mana anymore. Maybe I'm supposed to wait if they have another Grape Shot, because I could stifle this. Yeah, that was incorrect. I shouldn't have Fatal Pushed their thing. I should have stifled it. Alright, so they're on nothing now at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and Spellstutter Sprite one of these to gain 1 and add another point of pressure into play. Or are they pointing some of these at my creatures? They pointed 2 of these at my creatures. Alright, so I'm going to counter one of the ones that's pointing at a fairy. Would I play Spellskite in the sideboard? No, I think this deck has a good burn matchup, how it's built now. I think we have enough Collective Brutalities on their discard spells that our burn matchup as is good. If we hit a land this turn and get to Mistbind Clique them, we'll win this game very easily. Untapped land, sorry. Asterisk, need that untapped land. No, I think they pointed at 2 different fairies. There weren't hats on my things, chat. I'm gonna blame Moto. They didn't put enough hats on my things, so I didn't know what was going on. Alright, so I hit them for 3 down to 10, and then next turn they're dead to Brutality plus this Mutavault, so we've won the game. This deck has an unwinnable Dredge matchup. I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong and that the Magic Online interface was unclear. When I skimmed over it, I thought they were targeting 2 different ones. Actually, they're straight up just dead on board. I don't need to show them Brutality, right? Because, like, this is 8. I just championed the Bitterblossom and then Mutavault is 10. Melker, thank you for the 7-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Fairy Miscreant is not good enough. A 1-1 for 1 is not playable. And I know that the second one isn't a 1-1 for 1, but you shouldn't count on drawing a second one. I need an advantage bar, right? Dead you. Sweet. Yeah, championing Bitterblossom comes up a lot. So, Cast Down and Brutality come out. Go for the Throat should not have gotten boarded in. Trim a Cryptic Command. I'd probably rather have 1 Brutality than the one Cryptic Command. Yeah, this is fine. Beast Butts. No, I think Disdainful Stroke doesn't quite do enough in this matchup. In my experience, the games you lose to Storm with this deck involve Empty the Warrens. We are 3-0 and we are up a game in the 4th match currently. Also, a lot of good Storm players tend to trim some or all of their Giftland given in this matchup, which makes Disdainful Stroke have a little bit of diminishing returns. Is Cast Down better than Go for the Throat in Modern? It depends on the matchup. So, Vendilion Clique is a 3-1 evasive threat. If your opponent leaves your 3-1 evasive threat in play, they're going to die very quickly. So, basically, you don't mind having a backup Vendilion Clique after the first one dies. Also, in a world where you're not expecting your opponent to kill your Vendilion Clique and you've drawn a lot of them, you can Vendilion Clique yourself and cycle the second click out of your hand. You can find my deck list on my website. You can click Modern. Elves is under the Proven section. This hand is very good, by the way. Just turn 1 discard spell, turn 2 Bitterblossom. Some basic lands, just everything I want to be doing in life. Remand is particularly annoying, but that's definitely the one we're taking. So it's the one they're taking here. I kind of wish I could take their card advantage in the form of pieces of the puzzle, but I definitely don't want them remanding my Bitterblossom next turn. Yeah, AGH, I'm going to do my best not to drop out of playing Modern on the days that I've promised anymore. I think conceding matches and just stopping playing decks when they stop being fun is a good way to approach it. So, if decks aren't good and I'm not enjoying them, we're just going to stop playing after 2 matches. Regarding side-out gifts, I actually think that since your clock isn't that fast, they're more likely... Our clock is pretty reasonable. Like, if in relation to, like, what other decks with Disruption are doing in Modern, our clock is very decent. Why didn't they play pieces there? That seems weird. Oh, you know what? I drew Snap. So, does them not playing pieces there mean they drew Remand? Yeah, I'm gonna wait half a turn on Snap Inquisition, because I feel like they drew Remand. In fact, I'm gonna draw step this Vendilion Clique. I've actually never stifled a Storm Trigger. Generally speaking, with these Disruption decks, you want to be stifling them before they get to the Storm Trigger, or like using your Obstructionist to pressure them. Like, this idea that you like stifle the Storm Trigger and like get them is kind of nonsense. And did we read the Remand? We read the Remand, sweet. So then, now they've tapped out off the Remand, so next turn I get to Snap Inquisition and take their pieces of the puzzle away. So that's one of those things we can like kind of read into what your opponent's doing based on how they've sequenced, because like we knew they had pieces of the puzzle. So it's like, we have to ask ourselves like, okay, why would they not play pieces there? Is there a standard Jeskai control list in the Modern portion of the deck queue? I have no idea. I don't think so. What line are you referring to, Brosader? EE is not awkward at all. I don't have to cast EE if it's not winning me the game. And if it is winning me the game, I'm happy to have it. Can you look on the actual deck queue on my website and tell me what line it is? Because page 4, second from the top, doesn't tell me anything. Man, what do I want to take here? Is it just Burrell? I think it's actually Burrell, since I don't have a removal spell for it. Like, I think I'm just, like, hoping to get under them at this point. Sure. Let's see what they're taking here. They put Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose in their hand, and they drew a land for the turn. It's actually kind of scary. They don't have a Remand that I know about, right? So I should just Mistbind Clique them this turn. I actually know the entire contents of their hand, right? They have Pieces, Past in Flames, Echoing Truth, Ritual, Manamorphose. Let's do the time warp again. Now they could have truthed my fairy tokens in response there, but I think I'm okay with that. I think I'd be okay like championing my Bitterblossom there. Man, it feels good to be a gangster. Alright, let's take your mana. No, they have Scion of Una, but it's not really a very good lord. Alright, do your best. Yeah, I agree. I agree with the assessment that you really don't need a good lord. Sure. The old Desperation Morphos. Oh, you did, Ghet. Man, I hope this is a grape shot that's going to try and keep the board in check and we just get to stifle it. All right. Jolly good. Cheerio, mate. Easy 4-0. Let's get our 4-1 and move along. We are running very well. Running hot. All right. If we see a handful of lightning bolts, we're going to be incredibly sad. But otherwise, this hand is pretty decent. This hand's a good example of why there are only 2 copies of Thoughtseize in this deck, and there's 4 Inquisitions. I think I just take the Tormenting Voice here. Yeah, I think I just take the Tormenting Voice here. That's like, it's not like quite a handful of lightning bolts. Like, they have a lot of creatures and stuff. I think we're actually kind of okay in this matchup. Don't have any removal spells at the moment. So I'm gonna play this and play the Tar Pit tapped. I know they have bolts in their hand. Ideally, I think I want to play the Vendilion Clique when I can protect it with Spellstutter Sprite. I really like Nimble Obstructionist in this deck. I think it's very good. All right, I think we're probably a lock at this point with the double Sprite. Dude, pretty close to a lock anyways. I think we're going to be able to survive the barrage of burn spells here. The opponent's playing mono red Steamkin. It's a good draw too. I'm gonna hold on to the Brutality for a hot second, because I think I'd like to have something worse to discard than the cards in my hand. I'm pretty happy with all four of the cards in my hand right now. They usually don't have main deck Blood Moon, and like Spellstutter Sprite can counter Blood Moon at this point. They're gonna discard the Arc Light to hand size here. Cute. Fiery Temper Bends to hand size. Sure, that's adorable. I mean, my opponent kept 7 as with 1 land in it, so like 0 sympathy. They should mulligan more. Subbed because I can't stand ads. Thanks for the Prime support, Fango. I appreciate that. Welcome. I think that cast down's worth binning. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this now. I think with a discard and a counterspell here, I should probably be good to keep the Phoenix out of play. Wait, they drew a land last turn and just didn't play it? What? Okay, I guess. You are currently subbed, Guttree. So we fire up Creeping Tar Pit and attack them twice. All right, can you 10 me? I'm banking on them not being able to 10 me here. Through a blocker. I guess they only have to 9 me, right? The Mardu Vehicles deck had 2 people cut in front of it, so it'll be back in the queue for Wednesday. Then we have to 9 me. Nining is easier than 10 for sure. We actually can't stifle your own trigger with Nimble Obstructionist. It's only opponent's triggers, unfortunately. Alright, let's begin sideboarding. Almost time to kick Moto. This is definitely a Kalitas matchup. This is a fine Dismember matchup. It's a fine Dispel matchup. This is probably an okay Wet Ball matchup. I don't know if that's true or not. These cast downs might be too slow. Maybe these are just too slow. I could see that being the case. Maybe I just don't want the Wet Ball. Like, we have turns where we want to do multiple spells too, so it could be that Damping Sphere is not worthwhile. We're 4-0 and we're up a game in this 5th match. I think Last Hope for killing Steamkin is too slow, yes. Maybe this is a matchup where I board out some of the Bitterblossoms because they do kill me. I probably never want to draw 2 of this card. Yeah, we've got a few sweet emotes. My emote guy really knocked him out of the park. What do we think of this? I think I like this. I'll bring a Negate in. Let's do this. I think, like, one Bitterblossom is fine, like we saw that game, but I don't necessarily have to have it to win. And it's kind of a liability against their more aggressive starts. Yeah, I like this archetype a lot. I think it's very reasonable. This hand's pretty good, too. The conservative play is to bottom this, right? And they're probably going to be able to kill it anyway, so yeah, let's bottom it. This deck is basically everything I want to be doing in Magic. So wouldn't have gotten punished if I'd have kept the click, so maybe I should be greedy next time. The thin emote especially turned out really good. I'm gonna take Morphos here. Maybe that's wrong. Yeah, the flute one turned out really well, too. Like I said, I've been really happy with most of them. Yeah, great day for Modern Viewer count. Mondays are usually pretty good, though. All right, no blasting off a spell there, which I think makes a lot of sense. They want to insulate this from Collective Brutality. Miss our spreadsheet memes sometimes going on, Distinction. We still get some sweet ones on occasion. We just had to cut out some of the ones that just felt really bad. So we'll probably take Fiery Temper here. They have Fiery Temper, Ritual Land. Yeah, I'll take the burn spell. It has been higher Furious Girl, and actually this is a fun side effect. My Modern Viewer count has actually gone up since I added Standard, and I think part of the reason is it's because my content's less saturated, right? So like when I'm doing Modern every day, people have less of a reason to like make it part of their life, because they like know it'll be there later, basically. Like, when I'm doing only Modern and I'm streaming it 40 or 50 hours a week, it's hard for everybody to get to all of it. Narek, thank you for the 5-month resub. Thank you for the tier 2 resub at that, too. Be sure to drop me a message in private and let me know what deck you'd like to bump this month. The Damping Sphere looking kind of embarrassing here. I wonder if maybe I'm not supposed to have these in my deck. Because, like, if this was just, like, any card with text here, I'd be much better off, right? I think I'm just passing here. Honestly, I might fire up Creeping Tar Pit and trade next turn. It's almost 1 o'clock and I haven't had a snack yet. What is this? So, like, if they double Ritual here, like Ritual Manamorphose, I'm still trading the Creeping Tar Pit for cards, and hopefully it's going to get them to tap out to save this Monastery Swiftspear, or they're just trading it, which is good for us, too. Fatal Push is a good draw. Just going to pass back here. So, Spellstutter Sprite with Mutavault gives us the ability to counter a 2-mana spell, which is nice. Arc like Phoenix, however, I can't really do a whole lot about here. What's the difference between standard and modern? So, from a technical level, the difference between the two is that modern has a deep card pool with like 15 years worth of Magic cards in it. From a gameplay perspective, modern tends to be really fast and brutal games of Magic, whereas standard tends to be, the games last a little bit longer on average. Maybe I should have attacked with Mutavault that turn. Yeah, I think I'm going to board out these Damping Spheres for game 3. I think I shouldn't have boarded them in here. No, I don't really play any chess. Maybe I should have used that to escalate this. I guess it lets me Spellstutter Sprite a 2-drop next turn. This standard format is the best format of Magic I've ever played. And I mean that out of every standard, modern, legacy ever. It is very, very good. That's aggressive. Yeah, this is, these are bad. If these cards had text, I'd be winning this game. Instead, they're just kind of hanging out, making me regret my life choices. I know I have this Fatal Push for the Swift Spear, but I really just want to get my Sprite into play so I can start attacking them. It's not a huge clock, but it's what I've got. Facebook is alive again, you are correct. Alright, they're at 15, I'm at 5. Hopefully the Damping Sphere makes it hard for them to bring their bird back. Would being on the play-up put us in a better spot this game? I don't think so. Yeah, like, we need to dodge bolts for like a bunch of turns here and like risk factors too. That one makes it hard to dodge things. I also don't have a way to kill this currently. Yeah, like, could you imagine if these Damping Spheres just, like, were Doomblades this game? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, cut these spheres and put cards that do things in my deck. Like, yeah, if I could have, like, closed my eyes and, like, picked cards at random, I would have picked other cards from my sideboard at random, we would have won that game, probably. This hand just doesn't do anything. Okay. Okie doke. So you're saying there's a chance. I don't think that 7 was close. I think that 7 was just like a very easy mulligan. Sure. Do I want to do all of these? Do I want to drain? I don't think I want to drain. I think I want to kill and discard here. I just want my next bit badge. Throw these at whatever you want. Thank you, Furious Squirrel. I think keeping this land is more important than draining my opponent for 2 here. Like, giving myself the ability to, like, play 3 mana spells seems pretty important. Like, working up to 4 even for Mistbind Clique is potentially very good for us. If they hit the land on curve for Arclight Phoenix next turn, I'm probably going to be in a little bit of trouble. Half a year of free money, Artilicon. Thanks for the 6 months. That turns into real money in my pocket, so thanks for the support. The perspective on situations like that is so obnoxious and funny to me. It's kind of sad. It's not funny, actually. Like, LSV picks up a token to bluff a card that he has in his hand. Everybody, like, applauds and, like, as this great Magic player. Kenner picks up his graveyard when an opponent plays Rest in Peace, and, like, the internet lights him on fire for it. Just, like, the stark contrast difference between the two is, like, really obnoxious. Just Magic community things, I suppose. So they have Gutshot, Bedlam Reveler, and then one card I don't know here. It's just, like, interesting on how, like, people's perspectives on the player influence how they react to the things that they do. Correct? That's a good draw. Now, I think the Boros aggro matchup's pretty decent for the Pirates deck. I think you probably want to change a couple of things, in the main deck, but I think on average it's pretty fine. Yeah, I agree. Ken Ketter is a very genuine, reasonable person. Who's like just a genuinely good people. It's part of the reason why I welcome him into my house. Have a ban. Wah, I'm a casual Magic pleb. I think someone playing Magic by the rules based on a rule I don't like is cheating. Wah, wah, wah. Please go away. You want to accuse people of cheating because you don't understand how the fucking rules of Magic the Gathering work? You're not welcome in my channel. That's just great. That's just great. One is cheating. No, it's not. But the other one, and that's like just like to highlight the like stark contrast differences of like people. You like LSV, so it was good play. You don't like Kent, so like he was cheating apparently. Correct. People look at rules they don't like and think that those rules shouldn't apply. They like to pick and choose which rules apply. For the record, I think what Kent did and what LSV did are both parts of playing good competitive Magic. They just are. Mind games like that are part of playing good competitive Magic. Just part of the territory. All right, so we hit the 4-1. We mulliganed to 5 in that last game. I think I also misboarded in the second game of that match. So we mulliganed and died in the third game there of the 5th match. But I think the second game had these damping spheres been counter spells or removal spells out of my sideboard, we likely wouldn't have gone to a game 3 in which I mulliganed and died. And honestly, I think that's one of the things that people don't consider enough when they're looking back on their matches of Magic. Like, when you hear someone come up to you and tell a bad beat story in Magic, you'll often hear them be like, well, I was really unlucky in game 3. I like mulliganed to 6 and like never hit my land drops. And my question to people like that is always the same. It's always, well, what happened in the other game that you lost? Because, like, I genuinely believe that somebody hit a bad beat in one of their 3 games, right? But, like, to get, like, this incredibly unlucky nothing you could do situation, 2 of the 3 matches, a lot of that time means your deck's either built poorly or you're not thinking critical enough of the decisions that you made. It's really important to remember that, like, the match that you lose is 3 games, and just because you hit a bad beat in one of them, you should probably look critically at the other one that you lost as well. If you're looking, to finish on this, if you're looking for a build of blue-black fairies, I played this build of blue-black fairies and things close to it a bunch of times in the past. You can find it on my website here under the blue-black fairies link under Modern Decks. I believe it's in the high potentially. There's a search box on the side. You can type blue-black fairies in. All right, we're going to wrap up today by playing a league of green-black elves. So let's go grab the cards for that. You are allowed to reorder your graveyard in every format other than Legacy and Vintage. I guess EDH too, it would apply to that. Let's get cards from my other favorite